Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Experience Team iteration release video. So we'll go over what we've accomplished over the last 2-week period. Today is October 7th. First up is Javi. He can't make it to this meeting, so I'll read for him. It looks like he has a draft here for the review app of the Y Premium page, and I guess that's in progress, but this is built in the core marketing site, which is very exciting as we start building up pages there. Safari navigation bugs, I believe this was just on mobile, so it looks like he did that. Data attributes for navigation CTAs. This shows a few pipeline failures that I think he was a little bit worried about, which we might look into. And then adding 10 alert boxes in docs. So this will allow us to track in Sisense. And I don't know if there's a link here. But we have URL parameters on the free trial page. Yeah, I think that's it for him. And next is Stephen, which I think Jess is.
Yep, I'll read for him. So the first thing there is also that Y Premium page. She's got the Figma there you can take a look at, but looks like Javi's also already started the development on it. Okay, doesn't open, that's fine. So the next thing is the Javi and Stephen, I know they're working on this docs text box kind of driver. If you are browsing our docs page, you'll be able to maybe see an upgrade like, hey, you're on premium, but if you went to ultimate, you could do XYZ. So I know they're looking at that, and they put a spreadsheet together, kind of figured out where to put these things. So that's the next thing there. And then I can read for myself. That was it for Stephen. So the next thing up there is this enterprise page MVC3. It's mostly just like kind of a cleaning it up, making sure that everything is actually in slippers, making sure we're linking out to things like customer case studies and like CI/CD or whatever happens to be on the page, making sure everything's up to speed with that one. And then, oh, we're also adding a video instead of an illustration on the top. And the second thing I've got going there is the features comparison table. So right now it's kind of just a laundry list of everything that GitLab does. We used to have this on the pricing page, and our sales team requested that we bring it back. So we're putting it on the features comparison page instead. So it's groupings of features rather than just like the laundry list. So that way, if you're like really interested in security, you can just go look at the security section and see where it lines up, if it's in free or premium or ultimate. And that's it for me. Next is Tina.
Thanks. So I've wrapped up the first part of the data-driven blocks that are going to be displayed on the hero section of the homepage. So MVC1 design is complete and development will start next iteration. And we also created a plan for future iterations on it so that we can actually use real data to deliver content in those blocks. I also ended up working on a template for the 10-year anniversary page. I just created a wireframe and passed that over to, I think Matt is doing the design for it, or maybe Vic. Tyler's working on that. So this is just the wireframe that I was involved in that Laura's showing right now. And last on my list is I got pulled into creating a landing page for corporate philanthropy. So that's still a work in progress and is with the legal department. So that that's slated to be developed next week. So I guess the engineer should be on standby for that. That's it for me. Next is Tyler.
Yeah, it's been a fun one. We had done some iterations on the pricing FAQs, which blew away some styles that we relied on in the standalone page I wasn't aware of. So fixed up that, just sort of pulled that stuff over. And then big stuff is we got the buyer experience Next site ready for production. So there were a couple cleanup items. There were just some like SEO things had to do in the head tag, cleaned up some of the existing like TypeScript stuff and some of the formatting. So we'll figure out how to automate that so that we don't have to keep doing that. And so got that prepped. And then I pivoted quick for the teaser page for the 10-year anniversary. There's Laura's countdown block is in there. And I forgot who it was. It might have been Michael or someone, but Laura, someone was like, how did you do that so fast? And I was like, I didn't, Laura did. So they loved it. I forgot who said that. So many people have said things, but just compliments to you on that. We moved the core marketing site and renamed it. It's Buyer Experience now, but it's the same thing. And then with that in place, it's in production. The older repo, www.gitlab.com, pulls in the most recent artifacts built. So every time you run a pipeline for the middleman site, it will pull in the most recent Nuxt site build. And then on the other side, the Nuxt site will push to the production Google Cloud buckets. So at this point, it is time to treat Buyer Experience repository as production, because whatever ends up in the main branch will be pulled in by another repository or pushed up to that same repository. And we did some iterations on it to not run it a dozen times unnecessarily. Whoops. So now it just goes once, which is 12 times faster than doing it 12 times. So I made some huge performance improvements on the pipeline this week, 12x, after having made it 12x slower. And then I've got, so the 10-year anniversary page is like it's gonna happen. We're good to go. I've got MRs and they're getting approvals, but I don't have anything to show because I don't have all the approvals in, and I don't want to show the things unapproved, but they're going to happen this evening. I'll probably hit the buttons. And up next is Nate.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I was out last week, so this week was just chaotic. One thing to kind of announce is that we filled all the nearshore roles. So I probably had like, I don't even know, 10 or 20 interviews this past week or two. But it's good. We're officially kind of done with that. And then there's a couple things that popped up on prod with the core marketing site, with the navigation. So I fixed some of that stuff, some of the padding, nothing too wild. And then pricing, there's just some links on the pricing page that need to be redirected to like docs and just different places. So I updated that. And then I started on the homepage personalization blocks that Tina mentioned earlier. So I just started. I'm hoping to get that out next week. And then I've been working on Slippers V1 a lot, but unfortunately, like it's still working right now, so it's not blocking anything. So I kind of pushed it aside for now as I get this personalization block out the door. But yeah, that's it for me. Laura?
Yeah, I finally got around to updating the orange on our slippers buttons to be a little bit, tiny bit darker so that they pass color contrast. So that's been put into slippers and then put into www. So that'll be for all the buttons that are using slippers styles or our 2020 base styles. So some of them have gone rogue and they're using their own like custom hard-coded styles. So those ones haven't changed yet. I made a small update to the jobs page based on a few requests for new images. Cookie banner might happen this week. Who knows? I live and sleep and breathe the cookie banner. And thank you again to Tyler for walking me through some Vimeo bugs with that. And then I set up the core site and got to do a little bit of work on the enterprise page, which I can show a little preview. But this is the video that Jess was talking about. These all now link out to their respective customer case study pages. Same with all of these guys, all go out to, wherever. Oh no. My Zoom thingy is like covering my, there we go. Okay, yeah, and yeah, these all link out to like the CI/CD page and so on and so forth. So a little bit of cleanup there. And I think that was it for me. And next is Barker.
All right. So for this iteration, released 2 more solution pages, the release controls and code reviews. So now they have that new template. We added that zigzag block. We linked the customer logos to case studies from the homepage. So, those now link to our beautiful case studies, which allow the user to dive in deeper there. Migrated the small business page over to the buyer experience repo. So click, there's the view layout. It shows how much cleaner that is. Love it. Couple MRs just to make the navigation text consistent. There's some were capitalized, some weren't. And then Nathan, Tyler, and me worked on building the footer into the buyer experience repo. So that's in there. And then lots of MRs came in, majority of them SEO fixes. So about 20 of those. Yeah, I think that's it.
Good. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.